Next witness, please.
State calls Detective Michael Lake.
Come on up, please be careful on the ramp when you get to the top of this, stand where you're ready.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Can you see it? Pull that microphone up, speak directly into it.
All right, could you please state and spell your name for the record?
Michael Lake, Michael,
And how are you employed?
I'm a detective assigned to the Criminal Investigations Division for Dodge County Sheriff's Office.
And how long have you been with the Sheriff's Department?
6 years,
And how long of that have you been a detective?
all of it.
Do you have any law enforcement experience prior to that?
I've been a sworn law enforcement officer for 17 years.
Through the course of your employment, were you assigned to assist in the investigation concerning the disappearance of Crystal Rasch?
I was.
And as part of that investigation, were you tasked with finding and securing transaction information? Well, let me rephrase. Were you tasked with locating surveillance video related to certain transactions made from Crystal Rasch's debit card?
I was.
Was there another officer who was also tasked with that same task?
Yes, Detective Dean Hopp.
Did you yourself recover surveillance video of many of these transactions?
I did.
Did you also review the video from the transactions that were recovered by Detective Hopp?
I did.
Your Honor, may I approach?
May.
Detective Lake, I am handing you a very large packet. The exhibits marked there are numbered 255 through 295. Now we're going to go through those exhibits, but for now, can you just take a minute and review them quickly just to let me know if you're familiar with the contents of that packet.
Yes, I am.
And are these all materials that you've reviewed prior to today's date?
Yes.
And are they all true and accurate representations of what they purport to be?
Yes.
I'd move admission of exhibits 255 through 295.
Any objection?
No.
They will be received.
And then would request permission to publish to the jury.
It can be published.
All right, directing your attention to the screen now, is that the same image as you have before you as exhibit 255?
It is.
And what are we looking at here?
This is what's called an E-trace. It is a firearms trace summary from the United States Department of Justice, Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, or ATF. It is a trace that law enforcement can use when we recover a firearm. We can search it by serial number, and then we can determine the history of that firearm from the manufacturer through its first purchaser at retail.
And was that received from the Department of Justice?
It was.
And what is relevant about what we're looking at?
Under the firearm information, the firearm is listed as a Taurus G2C model, caliber 9mm. The serial number is present there, and then the date of purchase and the purchaser information are all on this form.
And we're taking a little closer look at this exhibit. Does that purchaser information indicate Zachariah Rasch?
It does.
And then does it also indicate where that firearm was purchased?
Yes, the bottom right section of the E-Trace summary shows a dealer information, and that was Fleet Farm in DeForest, Wisconsin.
Is that right here that I'm circling?
Yes.
All right, I'll direct your attention now to Exhibit 256. And what are we looking at here?
This is the receipt from the firearm purchase at Fleet Farm. This was recovered after Detective Hopp spoke with the manager at Fleet Farm. So this would show the actual handgun purchase and the other items that were purchased along with it.
And can you tell us the date of that purchase?
The date is, trying to find it on here, sorry.
Well, it looks like there's a date here, but that would be the date that this was printed, correct?
Correct. That date at the top left, the 7/15/24, would be the date that the receipt was received by law enforcement when it was reprinted. As it says, reprint original receipt. I know that the date of the purchase was February 20th, 2024.
Now, in tracking the purchases made with Crystal Rasch's debit card and directing your attention to Exhibit 257, did you find purchases and surveillance that depicted Crystal using that card?
Yes.
And again, this is Exhibit 257. Is that 257 in front of you as well?
Yes, it is.
And this is just a still photo from surveillance, correct?
That's correct.
And I know it's not indicated on the screen grab itself, but was this from June 7th of 2024?
Yes.
And on the left side of the screen, does that show, well, let me ask this first. Did you view the actual video from this transaction?
I did.
And is this still accurate screen grab from that?
It is.
And from your review of that, were you able to identify this person using the card?
The person in the left side of that frame wearing what I believe to be a black jacket is Crystal Rasch.
And now moving on to 258. Is this receipt that you recovered from that same transaction that we looked at in 257?
Yes, the sheriff's office recovered the receipt from that transaction at Bailey Wigley.
And then zooming in, has card number here. Does that show the last 4 digits of the card used for that transaction?
It does.
And is that 8942?
Yes.
And do you recognize those numbers?
Those are the last 4 numbers of Crystal Rasch's debit card.
All right, moving now to Exhibit 259. What are we looking at here?
This is a still from surveillance video at Quick Trip in Juneau. This shows Zach Rasch walking from his blue Dodge Ram, which was parked at would be the eastern side of the pumps, the southern pump on that side, and then walking into the store.
And do you notice the shirt that Mr. Rasch is wearing there?
I do.
Can you describe it?
Dark colored, I believe black with a Reebok logo on the front, believed to be white.
And now moving on to page 2 of Exhibit 259. Can you tell us what we're looking at here?
These are still images from the surveillance video at Quick Trip in Juneau, showing Zach Rasch at the ATM at the location.
And now, the next page in front of you has been previously marked and received, is a page that was previously marked and received as Exhibit 11. But do you recognize that?
I do.
And this area that's highlighted, well, first of all, what is it that we're looking at?
This is a transactional record from Bank of Lake Mills regarding Crystal Rasch's debit card.
And then focusing in on the highlighted portion, does that refer to the images that we just saw from that Juneau Quick Trip?
Yes, this is in reference to a $200 ATM withdrawal, and 210 South Main Street is the address of Quick Trip in Juneau.
And that was at 10:31 p.m.?
Yes.
Move back to that page. And is that consistent with the date and time that we see as part of these still shots from surveillance?
Yes, the first image is taken at 10:31. The second is from 10:32. I'm assuming that the time was at the start of the transaction.
All right, now moving on to Exhibit 260. What are we looking at there?
These are still images from a surveillance video at Quick Trip in Watertown from June 14th. And they also show Zachariah Rasch at the ATM at that location.
And looking at the next page, which again was previously marked as Exhibit number 11, is this again Crystal Rasch's debit card transaction history?
Yes.
And directing your attention to the highlighted portion, does that correspond to the date and time of the still that we just looked at, Exhibit 260?
Yes, it does. I believe the still says 11:26 p.m. It's pretty common for transactions to be within a minute or two.
Now, directing your attention to Exhibit 261. Is the image in front of you consistent with what's on the screen?
It is.
Is this another video of surveillance that you watched prior to today?
Yes.
Could you first tell us where this is from?
This is from the store entrance at Menards in Beaver Dam on Francis Lane.
And could you tell us the date and time that this is from?
June 15th, 2024, 4:57 p.m.
Go ahead and play.
I apologize. 4:32 p.m. The transaction was at 4:57 p.m.
And starting the video at, well, go ahead and hit play. All right, so the video was started at 16:32 and 37 seconds. I paused it just at 16:32 and 46 seconds according to the timestamp in the top corner. In just that short period that we watched, what of interest did we see?
Blue Dodge Ram traveling eastbound in the parking lot and pulling into a parking spot.
And does that match the blue Dodge Ram known to be operated by the defendant?
It does.
All right, could you please continue the video? And can you just describe what we're seeing?
At this point in the video, Zach Rasch has exited the blue Dodge Ram and is walking east toward the entrance. He's currently walking across the yellow painted lines towards the front of the store.
And the video is ended at 16:33 and 40 seconds. Moving on to the next page in front of you, which is also Exhibit 261. This is currently paused at 16:33 and 46 seconds. Is this also surveillance video from Menards and Beaver Dam from June 15th?
Yes, it is.
And we'll just play a short portion here. And what do we see in this video?
This is Zach Rasch walking into the store and currently past the cart area.
Moving on to moving on to the third page of Exhibit 261. Do you recognize this image as also being from surveillance from that same day at Beaver Dam, Menards?
I do.
And can you describe what we see at this point?
Zach Rasch is at the bottom of the screen, walking right to left in the frame, pushing a cart.
All right, we've paused the video. Well, the video started at 16:46 and 17 seconds. It's now been paused at 16:46:31. Where do we see the defendant in this image?
He is at the bottom of the screen, about 1/3 of the way from the left side of the screen to the right.
And am I circling him and his cart now?
Yes, you are.
Do you notice anything of interest in the cart itself?
Could you zoom in on the cart for me? The two bottles on it'd be the close side of the cart toward the camera. They appear orange and brown. They are consistent with Santeen drain cleaner or opener, which is sulfuric acid.
Is that these bottles here?
Yes, it is.
Were we unable to locate surveillance of the actual point of sale from this transaction?
No.
Moving on to still Exhibit 261, but the fourth page of that. Is this surveillance from that same day and same location?
It is.
Starting at 16:59 and 56 seconds, playing the video. Can you describe what we're seeing here?
From the left side of the frame, Zach Rasch is walking across the parking lot toward the blue Dodge Ram, pushing a cart.
And you can pause. And pausing the video at 17:00 and 19 seconds. Now directing your attention to Exhibit 262. What is it that we're looking at here?
This is a transaction record from that purchase at Menards that took place in the prior surveillance videos.
And this is information that you received from the store itself?
It is.
Can we just zoom in here on the date? I know it's very hard to see, but does that indicate June 15th of 2024?
Is there any way you can zoom in on it a little bit more? It's hard to see on this one.
That's okay. We can't.
I believe it does.
Can you zoom in on the tote layer? All right, and looking here at the transaction total, is that $205.33?
It is.
Looking at the second page of Exhibit 262, again, this is somewhat difficult to read. Can you zoom in down here? Does this also indicate the total of $205.33?
It does.
And does it indicate what card was being used for that purchase?
Yes. Under the heading miscellaneous number, directly under that, the last four digits of that number are 8942. And it's identified as a debit card.
Now, the quality of the image that we have is very poor, but is this a list of the items that then were made during that purchase?
Yes, this is the itemized transaction record.
And what did you do with this information?
I took the itemized transaction record and used the Menards specific item number or SKU number, went onto the Menards website, and then cross-referenced those items with the items that were believed to be purchased.
All right, so directing your attention to Exhibit 263. And the next 4 pages after that, can you look at those quickly?
Yes,
Is that the result of your search using the product number that you received from the Menards transaction history?
yes.
And so on this first page of 263, what do we see?
That is a Hoover brand spot and stain remover.
And again, that was something that was purchased from this transaction, correct?
Yes, it was.
And that would be the same for all these items that we're going to look at, correct?
Yes, it is.
All right, the next one.
Monster energy drink.
And then to the next page. What is the first product here?
OxyClean Duo wipes, multi-purpose cleaning wipes.
And the one next to it.
An OxyClean total interior floor mat and carpet cleaner.
And then on to the next page.
Ozium Original Gel Auto Air Freshener and Odor Eliminator.
And next to it.
Santeen Professional Strength Liquid Drain Opener.
Now, is this consistent with the bottles, this look, is this consistent with the bottles that you observed in the defendant's cart?
Yes.
What do we have here?
The first is a Turtle Wax brand Power Out Automotive Carpet Cleaner, and the second is a 100 count package of Venom brand chemical resistant nitrile or protective gloves.
Next page. Oh, what do we have here?
There's a Bissell Pro Oxy Spot and Stain Formula, and the second is a Hoover Clean Slate Pet Carpet and Upholstery Spot Cleaner. So kind of like a carpet cleaner vacuum.
And again, so all those items that we just went through were represented on that Menards transaction that we just saw the surveillance from. Is that right?
That's correct.
All right, now moving on to Exhibit 264. Is this another surveillance video that you reviewed?
Yes, it is.
And when and where is this from?
This is from the Harbor Freight in Beaver Dam, June 15th, 2024, approximately half an hour after the Menards transaction at 5:32 p.m.
And we have a video here starting at 5:12:19. Go ahead and play. And the video stopped at 5:12:31. What did we just see in that video?
That was Zach Rasch walking into the Harbor Freight store.
And then looking at the next page of Exhibit 264. And what do we see there?
This is Zach Rasch making a purchase at that same Harbor Freight store.
And this is a still image, correct?
That's correct.
And does it show 5:22 and 16 seconds p.m.?
Yes, it does.
Now, you reviewed a lot of surveillance video of transactions involving Crystal Rasch's debit card, correct?
Quite a bit.
And that debit card was from the Bank of Lake Mills.
Yes.
Are you familiar with what a debit card from the Bank of Lake Mills looks like?
I am.
And can you describe that?
It is blue, green, and white. And at the top, it says BLM Bank of Lake Mills.
And is the card seen in the hand of the defendant consistent with what you know to be a Bank of Lake Mills debit card?
Yes.
Moving on to Exhibit 265. Is this the receipt that you received from you or the sheriff's office received from Harbor Freight from this June 15th purchase?
It is.
And zooming in right down here, does it indicate the last four digits of the card that was used?
Yes, under card number, the last four digits there are 8942.
And this receipt also is itemized, is that correct?
It is.
And were you able to do research on what those items were based on that information?
I was.
So directing your attention to Exhibit 266, can you tell us what we're looking at there?
On the left side is a rechargeable waterproof LED flashlight. On the right side is a Quinn brand socket set, 72 piece.
All right, now directing your attention to Exhibit 267. What are we looking at here?
This is a receipt from Blaine's Farm and Fleet in Watertown.
Was video obtained from this transaction?
No.
Or if video was obtained, were we able to view it in preparation for this trial?
No, I believe the files, if I remember correctly, were corrupted. We weren't able to view this prior to the trial.
So can you just point out the date indicated on this receipt?
June 16th, 2024.
And again, the card number that was used?
The last four digits on that card are 8942.
Again, is that consistent with Crystal Rasch's debit card?
It is.
And were you able to take the information from the itemized portion of the receipt and look at what items were being purchased?
Yes, we were able to determine that it was OxyClean laundry detergent and a storage tote.
I'll direct your attention to Exhibit 268. Are those the items that you were just describing?
Yes.
And again, are these images and information drawn directly from Blaine's Farm and Fleet?
Yes.
Now moving on to Exhibit 269. Can you tell us what we're looking at there?
This is a receipt from the Ace Hardware in Watertown.
And can you point out, I mean, is here where the date of that transaction occurred?
Yes, June
And what-
16th, 2024,
And the time?
2:41 p.m.
Scroll down. Looking now down at the bottom of that, again, does it show the card number?
It does. The last four digits are 8942.
Consistent with Crystal Rasch's debit card?
It is.
And are you able to see what is being purchased here on that receipt?
Yes.
And can you describe that, please?
That is Santeen drain cleaner or opener.
And can you tell how many of those were being purchased?
This purchase specifically was 4 bottles.
All right, moving on to Exhibit 270. Were you able to observe surveillance of a purchase from Walmart in Watertown on June 16th of 2024?
It was?
And is this image consistent with that?
Yes.
And what of interest do we see in this still?
The blue Dodge Ram is in the front of the frame at the very bottom.
Is that what I'm circling here?
Yes, it is.
Looking at the second page of Exhibit 270. Again, is this another still image from that same date at the Walmart in Watertown?
It is.
And what does this still image show?
This shows Zach Rasch walking into the Walmart store.
And looking now at the third page of Exhibit 270. Was this the video of the actual transaction that was captured, or at least portion of it?
Yes.
And we'll start playing. The video has now come to an end. It's paused. What do we see now in this paused image?
This is Zach Rasch at the checkout, and he is putting what appears to be a debit card back into the wallet that he was carrying.
And again, this image, is that visually consistent with a Bank of Lake Mills debit card?
It is.
Now, during the video, we also saw the defendant using looked like a green-colored card. Through the course of your investigation, were you able to identify what card that was?
That was an EBT card, a benefits card.
And do you know to whom that benefit card belonged?
Crystal Rasch.
Move on to Exhibit 271. On the left here, is this the transaction record provided to you from Walmart?
Yes.
And that's for the transaction that we just observed?
Yes, it is.
And directing your attention to the middle here that I'm circling, can you tell me what that is?
That would be the second card used in the transaction. The first one above it would be the EBT card. The number you circled would be the second card, which ends in 8942.
And then on the others, well, we have the itemized list of things that were purchased here. But what of interest did you indicate on the rest of the slide?
The fourth item in that transaction is Hoover Oxy Spot and Stain Remover.
All right, moving on to Exhibit 272. Can you tell us what we're looking at here?
These are stills from the surveillance video at Quick Trip in Beaver Dam, the Quick Trip on North Spring.
And can you give me a date and time from what these are from?
The video stills are captured on June 18th, 2024 at 7:45 a.m.
And looking at the second page of that exhibit, what are we looking at there?
The still captured on the left shows Zach Rasch standing at the ATM. He is behind the woman that's directly, that's visible mostly in the image. The second image shows Zach Rasch walking away from that ATM.
And was there a transaction on Crystal Rasch's debit card history that corresponded with this date, time, and location?
Yes, there is a transaction on, again, 6/18 of 24, 7:46 a.m. for $200 at that location.
Directing your attention now to Exhibit 273. We have a still image. What is that from?
That is from Walmart in Beaver Dam on Francis Lane from June 18th, 2024. On the right side of the frame is the blue Dodge Ram that belongs to Zach Rasch.
And in watching that surveillance, did you observe the defendant exit that vehicle?
Yes.
Looking at the second page of that same exhibit, again, I believe we have a still from surveillance. Did you watch that surveillance as well?
I did.
And is this an accurate still from that surveillance?
Yes, it is.
And what did that show?
This specific portion is showing Zach Rasch completing the transaction and scanning a package of what would be automotive wipes, like Armor All wipes.
And looking at the next page, is this from that same transaction?
Yes.
And here we have a video. Can you please play that? Again, during that video, did we see the defendant using two different cards during that transaction?
Yes, the first one appeared to be the EBT card. The appearance is consistent with that type of card. And then the second appeared to be the Bank of Lake Mills debit card.
And what did we see at the end of that video?
At the end of the video, there was cash dispensed. Zach Rasch selected an option to receive cash back on that purchase and received, I believe it was $100 back on that purchase.
And moving on to Exhibit 274, is this the receipt or transaction record received from Walmart for that transaction?
Yes.
And zooming in right here, can you tell me the numbers that were involved in the card that was used?
8942.
Moving on to Exhibit 275. And I'd like to just check in with you. Is 275, what's marked 275 in front of you, consistent with what we're looking at up here?
It is.
All right. Is this a still image from a transaction that occurred at that same Walmart location?
Yes, the same day shortly after the first transaction.
What department was this in?
This was in the automotive section, in like the automotive service section.
Moving on to Exhibit 276. And zooming in on the receipt here. Based on your knowledge of the case and the transaction record, is this consistent with the receipt that was obtained during that transaction?
Yes, this would have been, to my knowledge, this was a receipt that was actually provided to Zach Rasch during that transaction.
And we can't see a lot of the information here in this image, but to your knowledge, was this receipt later located in, found in the blue Dodge Ram?
I don't know where this was recovered.
Okay. Moving on to Exhibit 277. Can you tell us what we're looking at there?
This is a still of the surveillance surveillance video at the Walmart in Watertown from June 19th of 2024.
And what of interest is in this still?
Near the center of the frame, there's a red sedan that's consistent with a red Chevy Cobalt that was registered to Zach Rasch.
And looking at the second page of 277, we have another still. What are we looking at there?
This is Zach Rasch walking into that store.
And that's on the same location, same date.
Yes.
And then the third page of Exhibit 277. What are we looking at there?
This is an overhead view of the transaction being completed by Zach Rasch, and the card is consistent with the Bank of Lake Mills debit card.
All right, directing your attention now to Exhibit 278. This is, well, can you tell me what we're looking at here?
This is a receipt from Farm and Fleet in Watertown from June 20th, 2024.
Is this another example of the Farm and Fleet video that was obtained but is no longer viewable?
That's correct.
Directing your attention to the lower part of that receipt, does it show what card was being used for that transaction?
Yes, to the right of the card number, the last four digits are 8942.
And at the top, what's the date and time?
June 20th, 2024, 9:56 a.m.
And just looking at, can you just describe the items that were purchased?
Sure. The items that were purchased included a Monster energy drink, OxyClean interior refresh spray, a headlight lens restore kit, an oil filter. I believe that was it.
All right, moving on to Exhibit 279. What are we looking at there?
These are stills from the surveillance video at Quick Trip in Watertown on June 20th at 10:30 a.m.
And what do we see of interest in those images?
The red Chevy Cobalt, that's consistent with Zach Rasch's vehicle, is at the top right of the left frame. The right frame would show Zach Rasch walking into that store.
And moving on to the second page of that exhibit, what do we see there?
That is an overhead view of Zach Rasch at the ATM at the same location.
And the next page. And then again, now taking a look at a page from a previously marked and admitted Exhibit 11, the stills that you just described, does that correspond with a transaction on Exhibit 11?
Yes, the date, time, and location are all consistent with the prior surveillance.
And the surveillance and then this record, is that consistent with the withdrawal of $200 cash?
Yes.
All right, moving on to Exhibit 280. What are we looking at here?
This is a still from the surveillance footage at the Walmart in Watertown from June 22nd. The still is from 6:21 p.m. and the red Chevy Cobalt previously mentioned is at the top right of the frame.
And looking at the second page of Exhibit 280, what do we see there?
Zach Rasch walking into that store.
And looking at the third page of Exhibit 280,
Two stills from the video of the transaction being completed at that store. The left frame is Zach Rasch holding a card that is consistent with a Wisconsin EBT benefits card. And the right frame, Zach Rasch is holding a card that's consistent with a Bank of Lake Mills debit card.
now moving on to Exhibit 281, is what are we looking at there?
This is the receipt from that transaction.
And again, do we see the numbers 8942?
Yes.
All right, now directing your attention to Exhibit 282. Again, I just want to make sure that 282 in front of you, is that consistent with what we're seeing here on the screen?
It is.
And what are we looking at?
This is a still from surveillance footage from the Beaver Dam Walmart. The red Chevy Cobalt is visible at the top of the frame.
And is the caption there accurate that this is from June 23rd, 2024 at approximately 11:26?
Yes.
And I guess I should be more specific. 11:26 is the approximate time of the corresponding transaction.
To my knowledge, yes.
Now looking at the second page of 282, what do we see there?
This is a view of the front of the store, and in the left side of the frame, Zach Rasch is pushing a cart. He's kind of near that closest orange triangular warning cone.
You're just describing this person here.
I am.
All right, looking at page 3 of that same exhibit, what do we see in there?
This is Zach Rasch at the self-checkout at the same store during the same visit.
And then looking at Exhibit 283, what do we see there?
This is the receipt from that same transaction with the EBT card last 4 digits, and then the debit card last 4 digits both on it.
And we see that in particular, the debit card 8942 there.
That's correct.
And we've got the items that were purchased up here. We see, is that glass wipes
Yes.
and Monster?
Yes.
All right, moving on to 284, exhibit 284. Is the image displayed consistent with 284 in front of you?
It is.
And what are we looking at here?
This is a still from surveillance video at the Quick Trip in Beaver Dam from June 23rd, and the video timestamp at 11:47 a.m. Directly beneath and right of the timestamp, there's a red sedan at one of the gas pumps that is consistent with the Chevy Cobalt owned by Zach Rasch.
And again, that was a surveillance that you were able to view yourself.
Yes.
Looking at the next page of exhibit 284. What do we see there?
Same location for the previously mentioned vehicle. There's a person walking from that vehicle. They are directly to the right of that red sedan, and they're walking toward the store.
And the next page of that exhibit? What do we see here?
That is Zach Rasch at the ATM at the same store.
And was there a corresponding transaction on Crystal Rasch's debit card history?
There was.
And then we're looking at a page from exhibit 11. Is this highlighted portion here? Direct your attention to that. What are we seeing there?
That is a transaction from Crystal Rasch's debit card records that are consistent with the time, date, location of the previously viewed surveillance video images.
And the surveillance that you viewed and then this transaction history, is that consistent with a withdrawal of $200?
It is.
Do you happen to know what the max amount one can withdraw from a Quick Trip ATM?
To my knowledge, it's $200.
Now, during the course of this investigation, was there a vehicle located in Adams County property?
There was.
To your knowledge, what was that vehicle?
It was a silver-colored Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross.
And was that vehicle initially located by members of the Adams County Sheriff's Department?
It was.
Did they take pictures of that, where they located the vehicle?
They did.
And did they do an inventory of some of the contents of that vehicle?
They did.
Did they provide those images to the Dodge County Sheriff's Office?
Yes.
And were you able to review those images?
I was.
So directing your attention to Exhibit 285, what do we see there?
That is on the left side of the image is the silver Mitsubishi Cross that I previously referenced, and it is parked directly next to a camper trailer.
And again, this is from that Adams County property owned by the defendant's family?
Yes.
Moving on to 286, is the image that you see displayed consistent with the 286 in front of you?
It is.
And what do we see there?
That is the rear of the previously mentioned vehicle.
then moving on to 287. What is that we're looking at?
That is the same vehicle, however, now at the impound location for Adams County Sheriff's Office. In this image, the rear hatch and what appear to be the rear doors are open.
The contents of this trunk, do you recognize anything from the defendant's prior purchases?
I do.
And what is that?
The Quinn socket set, 72 piece on the left side of the image. That's consistent with the socket set that was purchased at Harbor Freight by the defendant. And then there were Armor All wipes or other vehicle wipes that were purchased by the defendant, which are consistent with the wipes seen at the back of the trunk directly behind the igloo cooler.
All right, looking at 288. What is that?
That's another image of the trunk with the Quinn socket set.
And then moving on to 289. What is that?
Same socket set.
And then 290.
The previously mentioned Armor All vehicle wipes or glass wipes.
And then 291. What do we see here?
That is an image of the interior of the front passenger compartment of the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. In the front passenger seat is a large green stuffed animal that would be a frog.
And then do you know what this stuff is here?
It looks like wrapping paper.
And is this the contents of that front passenger seat as it was found by the Adams County Sheriff's Office?
To my knowledge, yes.
And then looking at 292.
Same location in the vehicle. Among the wrapping paper is also an ice scraper.
And then 293.
That is the rear seat of the vehicle, and on the seat are Venom brand nitrile gloves.
Is there anything significant about those nitrile gloves?
Those were the same brand and appearance of packaging of the gloves that were purchased by the defendant at the Menards in Beaver Dam.
It's difficult to see right now, but was there something located in the picture here?
That is a black sweatshirt.
And then moving on to 294.
That is a black sweatshirt with a Wisconsin Dells text on it in white.
And is that consistent with the one that was found in the back seat in the previous image?
To my knowledge, yes.
And then 295.
A better image of the same sweatshirt.
So then what were your other duties as it related to this case, in particular related to this vehicle that was found?
I was assigned to go to the Adams County Sheriff's Office impound and retrieve the vehicle that had been seized by their office, this vehicle specifically, the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross, and then escort that vehicle to the Wisconsin State Crime Lab.
And is that what you did?
I did.
And once it was taken to the crime lab, was that vehicle then further processed there?
Yes.
Did you have any other responsibilities in reference to vehicles on this case?
I also took the, well, not in reference, I guess, At the same time, I also received custody of a cell phone that I dropped off at the Digital Forensics Unit in Madison. And then as far as vehicle responsibilities, the blue Dodge Ram was in our impound here in Dodge County. I escorted that vehicle to the Wisconsin State Crime Lab in Madison. And when it was dropped there, I escorted the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross from that location back to our impound.
Now, as part of your duties on this case, did you also request, did you do a warrant for Google records?
I did.
And did you receive a return on that?
I did.
And did you also do a warrant for some Verizon information?
Yes, those are specifically for IP addresses for what were believed to be Verizon cellular service IP addresses.
And then did you or Detective Young also request location information from Verizon?
I believe so. I cannot recall who it was.
And was that all that information that was received from Google and Verizon eventually sent to MCOC for analysis?
To MOCIC, yes.
Exactly what I said. And then was that data analyzed by an outside source?
Yes, I did not have anything to do with the analysis of that data. That was all done by an outside source.
I have what's marked as Exhibit 296, a flash drive containing that data. We're moving that evidence into, moving this flash drive into evidence at this point, but will not be further discussing it at this time.
Any objection to receipt?
No.
We received.
Then I have no further questions.
Cross.
Good afternoon, Detective.
Good afternoon.
You've spoken at length about financial transactions that were involving Crystal Rasch's card ending in, I believe, 8942.
Yes.
Okay. How far back did you get financial records for that bank account?
I believe Lieutenant Taylor Nails retrieved the financial records for that account. I was directed when I was doing the investigation to essentially focus on things June 11th and after, based on the fact that we had the information that was the last time that she was seen.
Do you know if those financial records started at some point before June 11th?
Without reviewing them, I don't know.
You talked about the significant efforts that you've made in terms of tracking down these various transactions and obtaining surveillance video.
Yes.
And this is all predominantly for this time period that you're talking about after June 11th, correct?
Correct.
Did you do anything in terms of trying to locate any surveillance video or receipts or financial data from the Moose Lodge on March 10th of 2024?
I did not.
Are you familiar that on March 10th, 2024, that Ms. Rasch was at the Moose Lodge in terms of attending, I believe, a CCW class?
I read in Detective Hop's report that there was information gathered from, I can't remember the name, I believe it was Freedom Firearms or something similar, that there was a CCW class held there that day.
And did you or anybody else with the Dodge County Sheriff's Office try to obtain any video from that particular date?
I'm not aware of any, no.
Nothing further, Judge. Thank you, Detective.
Thank you.
Redirect.
None, thank you.
All right, you can step down.
Thank you, Judge.
Believe that's the